Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is episode 59 of our Star Wars Unlimited podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the UKGE tournament that happened, a couple of PQs that went down. Alex went to one, talk a little bit about his run. And we're also going to talk about how Morgan and Ashoka have joined our leader pool. With that being said, let's bring in my co-host for tonight. Please welcome the bench warmer himself, Mr. Alex. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing okay. Got to play the PQ, so that's nice because the one in Michigan I was helping run and commentating, so I couldn't play in that one. Went down to Ohio at Recess Games, which I played a lot of X-Wing there, and it was a great place. It was fun.
Awesome. Also joining us tonight is JJ, the Giants hater. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing all right. Unfortunately, I was not able to make my PQ. Life got in the way, unfortunately, but we got a store champ next week that I'm definitely going to go and play and just hope to do really, really well. Been testing a few Thrawn decks, which feel really fun and janky, and I just hope that they do well enough. And oddly enough, I've been playing against a lot of mill decks lately, and man, it's just rough when you're not prepped for it, like right off the bat. Man, it can be tough.
Yeah, I don't know if mill decks, I guess at a store champ, you might see some of that because people run weird shit. But like outside of that, I don't know if you'll see a lot of mill decks at a PQ. I guess there was one at Alex's PQ, so there you go. Somebody was running the trench yellow or trench blue deck.
It was a 30 health trench deck that was really similar, so if they had a couple other things. I wouldn't say that's a mill deck. I would say more of it's they ran out of cards in their deck kind of deck. It's stall. It's just super stall.
I play mine as a mill deck because I don't want to sit there for 20 years.
Well, if you can mill, it's a luxury. A lot of the times you can't.
But so we had quite a few different things happen. That was kind of fun this weekend. We got 2 new leaders that they released. So we're getting close to having the full pool. I think last week I was like, oh, hey, we'll do some new decks. And I did not prepare for that. So we are not doing that this week. We will talk about next week. I promise you we will actually talk about a little bit about some newer decks. I don't know if we'll actually go through a deck or not quite yet, depending on what they release. But I think the big thing is going to be is we're going to talk next week a little bit about what leaders and what cards you should be kind of looking out for with this new set. As we've gotten some of these spoilers, there's a couple of leaders that look really, really good. Quinlan, it looks like Quinlan's going to get better with some of the stuff that's happening, and I think Rey becomes viable in like more than just the red and green color. Like there's some stuff that's coming for Rey that I think is pretty good. So I think we're never going to see Rey go away. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit next week about some of the cards and leaders that we think are going to be worthwhile rechecking out once we get the new set to drop. With that being said, let's get into spoilers tonight since we don't have a ton of them that I wanted to go over. And I guess the first thing that we have to look at is JJ again was able to predict accurately and in the right color somehow. I don't know how you did that, but you had the right color and you had the right character for Morgan Elsbeth in green. How do you feel, JJ?
I feel so good, especially since she was like one of my last minute like add-ins for it. But it feels good to be right on the money for Morgan Elsbeth because I knew she was coming. Gives me hope for May and Osha, even though you're telling me that no, it's never going to happen. But
you're not getting May and Osha. Look, I officially now have a full set of every Palpatine unit, different version of it. I have literally, I just changed. I traded my Obi-Wan for Palp that's coming this week. I'm getting it. It didn't cost me anything more than $2 to ship. I love the guy. Thank you for not like trying to charge me more money because actually the Palp was going for more than the Obi was, hilariously enough. But I officially have it all. So I will put my Palp collection on the line that you're not getting May and Osha. And you have to put your showcase or something cool on the line that you have to give me.
I don't have a showcase, but I'll send you.
JJ got a showcase. Congrats.
All right, $50 then. There you go. You got to put $50 on the line. You're not getting May and Osha. Sorry. That's just we could make this a meme now where I could just play this clip of this video, me going, no, you're not getting it, JJ, every time you see it. Anyway, So JJ and I are tied in terms of guesses and accuracy. I have one that I guessed right, Kanan in blue. I didn't actually think Kanan would be in blue. That was, I think, if I remember, that was just kind of like I got to throw this in there. Alex is in the lead. You've guessed one more
Kit Fisto, baby,
than us, and you got Kit Fisto right. So I mean, and by the way, I've been playing Kit Fisto. He's actually really fun to play, just so you know, like at least in blue so far. I've been having a lot of fun with Kit Fisto. When he doesn't go off, I cry, but most of the time he's very good. So anyway, so this is kind of where we stand. I mean, Alex, how many leaders do we have left?
What was it, like 4?
No, we gotta 5. We gotta have more than that, don't we?
Left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
That's because we have 12 released or 12 spoiled. So
does that include Qui-Gon and Maul? Then yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there is some hope. I think it depends. I mean, if we kind of look on here, if your miscellaneous extra was what, Luke? That was different than the rest of us. Luke, Vader, Luke, Vader, and Balin. Those are your kind of differences. Oh nope, JJ has Vader too. So JJ is Savage, Barriss, Sifo Dyas, Sol, Sabine, May, and Osha. Grogu. Those are like the ones. JJ could just take this whole thing home. I highly doubt it though, but.
If Grogu's a leader, we just give up, right?
Yes. If Grogu is a yellow leader, we officially will never do this again. We will just we'll just let JJ fill this out.
Yeah, JJ's going to tell us whatever the next 18 leaders are.
Yep.
We're not have to agree with them.
Yep. We're done at that point. How about this? If you get May and Osha as well in this, I quit the podcast. It's all
I'll be like, all right, the next leader is a Rebel Lieutenant number 2 from the attack scene in episode 4.
Next leader is Biggs. I don't care that he died and he was barely in the movie.
Jack Porkins as the next pilot leader.
There you go. Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of this was our for fun thing. I did actually, if you would like a link, I did make a template of this so that you can actually take this and print this out. I had somebody email me and say, hey, can you make this a public? So I did. I have a template version of this that I made. If you would like it, you can just send us an email at the podcast or comment on one of our videos or Discord us, whatever floats your boat. I'll get you the copy. I made a template this time, officially made a template for people to use. So I think this is fun. And I think at my locals, I'm going to take this for the next set and have everybody like fill one out and we'll do like a prize raffle or something like that. I'll raffle off something cool. But let's actually talk about the spoilers this week. Since JJ got it, we'll let JJ cover Morgan Elsbeth. And then do you want to have a little bit of a discussion about her? Because there's some things in there that I think we need to talk about with her. But go ahead, JJ, tell us about Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah, so we got Morgan Elsbeth here following the call as her subtitle there, and she has Force, Imperial, and Knight as her identifiers there. Her ability reads action. Choose a friendly unit that attacked this phase. Play a unit from your hand that shares a keyword with the chosen unit. It costs 1 less, and she deploys on 5 resources. She is a 3 attack, 6 health, and it reads unattacked. The next unit you play this phase costs 1 less if it shares a keyword with a friendly unit. So this is pretty good. This kind of reminds me a lot of like building with the green boba. You're able to get advantages for just having keywords on there, especially if they match together. You're able to do pretty good things with it, especially with hidden gonna being that new keyword that's coming out, and a lot of the Night Sisters that we've seen so far have that keyword on there. You can also do really well with ambush decks as well. If you have a lot of ambush on your in your hand and just play them out, they just cost 1 less, which is fantastic. Or even really good at defensively with like grit units or shielded units. You can really tailor a lot of specific lists for Morgan to take advantage of. I definitely think that she's going to see a lot of play right off the bat.
So the question I have, okay, so we have Boba, right, that kind of does the keyword thing, and we don't see a ton of Boba, or I guess, do I say Boba 2, or whatever we want to call him? Hero Boba. We don't see a ton of play for him. We do see some, right? And we had Fennec. Fennec does similar things with the ambush. Do we really genuinely think this is going to be a good leader?
I mean, it's a passive discount that all it requires is for you to essentially have a unit in your deck with that, and you just use an action and deploy that. You're probably giving up initiative for this particular ability to work, but if you're able to put out more units out onto the field, that's going to be harder for your opponent to control if they're not prepped for like a bunch of units being played for it. So,
did she like do anything with the Eye of Zion?
Yeah, she. So, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Ahsoka in the last 2 years, but she took the Eye of Zion to go to a different galaxy to retrieve Thrawn and the Night Sisters back into the Star Wars galaxy.
Okay, that explains so much why that thing is just a mess of keywords.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that and like gore. I mean, like ambush seems to be like the very obvious one, right? Because you're not losing too much tempo with using her action. Restore might be kind of interesting as well. It's just going to be like a deck you really have to focus on doing exactly, try to get it. I mean, like putting down Sentinels for less is pretty nice, right?
So I think so. But it doesn't feel like it's a lot like, I don't know. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get this one cost discount.
It is more restrictive than something like Red Han, right? Where it's just like, they just take 2 damage or whatever. But like, unit discounts is pretty nice. It does suck if you just can't like attack with the unit, right? Because you do have to get the attack off. It's also a little bit weird that she doesn't have like a keyword herself. I thought like maybe like a restore 1 or something would be
nice.
Yeah.
Restore 0. I don't care. Just give her something, right?
I wish she would have had the
her own
hidden
ability.
Yeah, if she had hidden, that would be nice.
Yeah, it might be interesting. There's a lot of the Nihil units have like raid and stuff, right? So maybe you can get a pretty aggressive like red, kind of like ambushy raid kind of stuff. I don't know. There might be stuff there. It's just gonna have like a lot of effort to put something in there. And the 3/6 for 5 is a little bit strange to me. Like sometimes usually you see like a 3/7, and she doesn't seem like as incredible as something like Unlimited Pink Quinlan or something to justify like the 6 health.
Yeah,
maybe her traits are better. She's a force unit. I just see
she's a force unit. Yep.
Huh.
And which she is in the show too, and that's why. Like we don't know this because when you first see her in Mandalorian, you don't know that she has any of that, but she has the Mandalorian staff, which I don't think we have a card for that. We don't have a card for that, do we, JJ? I don't think we do. I don't think there's a Mandalorian that Beskar staff, which could be something we could see as like a Beskar staff. That would be pretty cool, like a Mandalorian traded Beskar staff. I would be excited by that, and that would be thematic for her. I'm personally, I don't know if I'm sold. Like this feels like I need like maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll have to get Crispy on to start cooking with Morgan because Crispy has like cooked with Fennec before and was kind of responsible for some of the Han 2 stuff, the data vault piece. And so like I think maybe we need to get Crispy on to talk a little bit more about Morgan closer to the set. But let's move on to the next leader. Alex, what is our next leader?
We got Ahsoka, an older Ahsoka. That's Rosario Dawson, right? I think. Yeah. So it's a blue heroic Ahsoka. It's got the Force and the Fringe trait. Her ability is, as an action, you use the Force and give a friendly unit Sentinel for this phase. A little bit like Chewie, but less restrictive. And then she flips on 6. She is a 5/6. And on attack, you may give a friendly unit Sentinel for this phase. That's a pretty high attack for a 6 deploy leader. Usually it's like 4. You think of like Luke's and stuff. Although like
And-
Maul is a 6/6.
Well, the new Vader and Luke pilot, both of them have ground deploys of 5/6s.
So it's a decent attack, and then she gives other people Sentinel, and that's that could be pretty useful if you're trying to protect units. I've heard some people complain she doesn't have Sentinel herself, but like that's kind of missing the point, I think, right? Like you could just give something a Sentinel, then deploy her,
Yeah.
and then just swing really hard. And her lightsabers from set 3 work with her too, which is kind of neat. Puts her up to like a 7 that just attacks immediately, which is cool.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to see this built up with like a token deck, right? Especially if you're able to like consistently get like tokens out on the board that you could put sentinels through. You know, just force your opponent to go through those 1/1 sentinels, and that just leaves the spot open for you to go in and attack in there. There's a lot of utility for her particular ability. Just giving out sentinels, it just really slows down your opponent. She feels like a very anti-aggro piece to play. Like I think decks like Sabine and stuff like that will have a harder time getting through Ahsoka decks.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't. We have Grievous that does similar things. I mean, I guess she's less conditional than Grievous, right? You know, like Grievous, it has to be droids and it has to be something that you played, whereas she is kind of very loosey-goosey. I will tell you some of the testing I've done with like Obi and Qui-Gon and stuff like that, like the Force is a little bit easier to get than I thought it was going to be. I will tell you, I don't think there's enough Force units to just have solely a Force only deck. You're missing out on some really good units to play. Personally, the only deck I've really had any success with only Force type units is Kit Fisto. That's it. He's the only one, and that's because it's a red blue and it's built specifically around that. But there's so many other good units. Like I don't have Cassian in Kit Fisto, which just feels bad because it's like you could bring Cassian out and close the game out, but he doesn't fit into that category. So I think it's easier to get the Force back than we originally thought. And I think even that blue 25 health base, if you want to run her as a double blue, is probably pretty good. It gives you access to put shields on your sentinels with vigilance. We have another card that's going to get spoiled later that we'll talk about that's kind of like a mini vigilance, which is a really good card too, in my opinion. And I don't know. I'm not super sold that this is good. I still like my Lando that just gives out shields better. Personally, it feels less conditional, but
I do
this
love
could still be good. Yeah.
But blue hero tends to have a lot of like high health units. So like giving it Sentinel, if it doesn't have it, like, you know, you're not gonna give a Sentinel unit Sentinel. So like they have, you know, some high health units that you just like, well, now it's a Sentinel and deal with it. And there's pretty easy shield generation, like you were alluding to, in blue hero. So you can, you know, shield some things.
Mm-hmm.
Like even just like a minor thing from like set 1, right? There's like the 2/4 shielded wilderness fighter. And it's like, yeah, you just give that the, you know, Sentinel. We got a local who been working on like Chewbacca decks every set. So we're you know, trying to, hey, you know, anything high health that you can just force it to give Sentinel now. It doesn't have to be 3 or less.
Yeah, I mean, and she is Fringe too. There's a couple of things that work with Fringe, and I don't think we've gotten a leader that was Fringe yet, have we?
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
Was it Afra?
Isn't like, I mean, it's just a bunch of the Underworld player. Well, not technically the Underworld, but like
It's 5 total right now. Finn, Rey, which I didn't know Rey was Fringe, by the way. Like we've definitely not used anything for Fringe with Rey. Hunter and Afra, and that's it.
Huh.
For leaders, leader-wise.
yeah, there's a bunch of Fringe cards, but
Yes.
I don't think there's anything for Fringe itself, like card support wise.
I don't think so.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
But also you have a lot of grit units in blue as well, so giving them Sentinel is very strong. You know, like the Plo Koon in this set. You know, he's a 6/8. When you have the Force, he has grit. So you just give him Sentinel too. You have to get the Force back, but it's not crazy difficult, right? So I think it has some potential. It's just going to be more of a specialized kind of deck.
All right. Well, let's move on. I'm not as sold on it. I do think there's more to Morgan than I think there is to Ahsoka. I will say having a 5/6 is nice, but it would be better if it was a 5/7. But that's just, I don't know. Or have her come out on 5. I don't know. All right. The next one is a legendary. It is the Mythosaur. We officially have a Mythosaur now going up there against that Crate Dragon. Cost 9.
Oh. That's the Mandalorian symbol. I'm just saying this now. I get it. Okay, it makes sense.
Yep, it's a 9 cost blue only 10/10 Mandalorian creature. It comes in shielded, and it says friendly units cannot be exhausted or returned to hand by enemy card abilities. Friendly leaders gain the Mandalorian trait.
Friendly upgraded units.
Yep,
yeah, that's the big part.
Yeah. So obviously this is very much so designed to work with Kanan. Kanan upgrades, Obi upgrades. Both of them are very much so. This can work in a Mandalorian deck.
Or Saxon, maybe.
This could work in Garrett Saxon, but it's like this comes out 9/10. So unless you're running like ramp, I mean, I don't know. But by the time you hit 9 resources, should you not be pretty close to winning? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, how
put
many
Mandalorian armor on it?
You can.
Oh my gosh, that'd be gross.
Because of the Mandalorian
Mando armor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're going to play a blue creature that's a 10/10 for 9, you just play Zillow Beast.
Yeah,
I guess if you have 3 of those in your deck, you can also play the Mythosaur.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that you have with this that you don't have with the Zillow Beast. So the Zillow Beast is nice, but with this, because of the upgraded units, so as long as you're upgrading your units or have the ability to upgrade your units, this actually kind of works to some advantage, I think. And it being neutral means it can be played on either side. But like Lando kind of likes this type of a creature, because you can play a unit, it gets shielded, they have to hit the shield, they have to start killing your shields and stuff like that.
Or like Rey
or Luke.
Yeah, I mean, the experience is more permanent upgrades than like shielding is. But man, it is. You can give it a lightsaber. That's funny.
Yep.
You can't bounce them. Oh, yeah. So I don't know. It's cool. I'm sure the Mandalorian trait for leader is like just a flavor thing.
Yeah,
because I don't see how that'd be relevant.
Whose leader is whose leader is out on 9 resources still, except for Avar Chris, maybe.
Palpatine.
Yeah, Avar Chris.
Palpatine. There you go. Oh man, Palp's gonna be a Mando.
Oh my head.
Oh, all right. Hold on, baby. I'm going back to Blue Palp now. Just so I can play this and have a Mando. I
hope you play this and just be like, I'm the Mandalorian leader now, and then just palp it and throw it at him.
Yes.
I don't know. It seems a little iffy. It looks cool though. That's legendary.
Yeah. I think there'll be some play for. I personally think there'll be some play for this. I'm not sold that this is going to be super amazing though. So
if Zillow Beast didn't exist, I'd be a lot more excited for this.
Yeah.
I don't know. All this stuff just makes me want to go back to Palp and just say, well, now I don't have to play all these Star Destroyers. I could play Mythobeast, and my Palp can now have Mandalorian armor, and I could just give you the middle finger. Like if I can't win at that point, then I'm definitely like I should not be playing Palp. So, all right, so let's move on to the next one. JJ, what is the sperm whale doing to those Star Destroyers?
So this is the 7-cost Grappling Guardian coming in the blue aspect with 3 attack and 9 health, and it's a creature trait. And it reads, when played, you may defeat a space unit with 6 or less remaining HP. Honestly, I think they should have increased that, right? Because this should be able to take out Star Destroyer, right? And most of them are like at 9. but still, it's very thematic so far. I mean, I just love this destroying the Seventh Fleet. This is probably meant to show like what happened above Lothal during Rebels, and it's pretty awesome. I love the art on it. Definitely going to work very well in the Kanan deck. It's a creature, and you can do some pretty good work on this if you're able to at least get one of those Star Destroyers down to like 6 health, and then to play this vehicle or play this creature. I mean, it's just gonna eat up a Star Destroyer pretty easy. We'll see some play. The fact that it only has 3 attack kind of makes it hard to justify.
You put in
bringing this
GI,
into your
ready
deck.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure there'll be some ways to make this work somehow. I just don't see it being a very commonly used upgrade or creature being used.
I don't know. I like the when played aspect with it. Like, I think Thrawn likes this too a little bit, because he has a Chimera that kind of weirdly interacts with it, because you could play this and play a Chimera, and then you could defeat 2 units at the same time. I think in villain control style decks, this isn't okay. Like, you're killing something and you have a 9 health body. You could put a pilot in it. I really like this in Asajj.
It'd be kind of fun if there was like an Aether Sprite or something that lets you play when played abilities twice or something,
There might be.
That would be an interesting use for that. Also, fun things is a space unit that's not a vehicle. So you can do things that you can't normally do. So you can like give it a lightsaber and just turn the space whale into a space narwhal and just have fun.
Okay, who at FFG missed that? You got to be.
It's not a vehicle.
I know. Who missed all of that?
Space narwhal, lightsabers, just a bunch of lightsabers. A whole body of lightsabers.
Thematically, you can also adjust the height of the lightsaber. So, it's a really long lightsaber just being held by its teeth or one of the tentacles.
Yeah, so because it's not a vehicle, you can throw things on it that are just really funny that you don't normally see in space. I mean, it doesn't get like the -2/-2 with Jedi lightsaber or something, but I don't know. You can put an Ahsoka's lightsaber on it. That's kind of funny. Just stack it full of stuff. Just give it a bunch of upgrades. You can give it a gun.
Yep, you can do lots of things with it.
A hotshot blaster.
Yeah, you just hotshot the space whale.
All right, I literally would like to know who at FFG missed all of this. Like, that feels awful. There's no way you can shoot a blaster like that.
I know space whales coming at me with some guns and Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Like,
give it a fallen lightsaber. Let it try to twirl around.
Hell, I mean, if we want to go that way, we can also give it the Foundling upgrade to make it a Mandalorian, and then equip it with Mandalorian armor. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this happens in one of the movies.
I quit. I'm done. That's ridiculous. What? FFG.
Man, the space whales just keep saying Roger, Roger. That's kind of weird.
Give it the Death Star plans after that, right?
Yeah. They should have used the space whale to retrieve this Death Star plans. Would have saved a whole lot of lives. But yeah, I thought that was funny that you could just like, hey, it's not a vehicle, so you can put things on that are just like really silly looking. You give it a Darksaber, you could, right? Why not?
Oh my gosh! Oh man,
I like none of this. All right, upgrade hate removal coming back into play again. All right, well, what's the next one?
So this is a Hyperspace Wayfarer. It is a 6-cost green space unit. And it is a 4/10. And that's it. Just a vanilla 4/10 creature that's
that can carry a lightsaber.
Yeah, and it's got tentacles, so it's got
through
multiple
hyperspace.
Lightsabers. Yeah. Obviously. So yeah, it's just a big creature. That's a a 10 body is pretty big for space, even though the 4 attack's a little bit iffy for 6 cost. Might be interesting. Probably. I don't know. Looks like it'd be good in Kanan.
All right, let's move on before we talk more about space sabers and all this garbage. I feel I'm
You
I'm,
are
reach-
irrationally angry about this.
I'm gonna reach out to FFG and ask him what that is gonna be as soon as the show's done tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna email Xander and be like, hey man, can we have a conversation? Somebody come on the podcast and explain to me why that was who missed that or what that was a good idea.
Yeah, this space whale, he just held up an electro staff and he got less attack every time I ran into him.
All right, the next one is a T6 shuttle in 1974. This is Ahsoka's, or not Ahsoka. It's not Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Is this Ahsoka? Yeah, this one's Ahsoka's, not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Or Hu Young's. It's
Hu
either.
Young's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a fringe vehicle transport, 3 blue hero with a 3/4 attack. It has a when this unit is attacked before damage is dealt, you can give an experience token to it. So you have, yep, it's this.
Gauntlet.
This is insane for 3 costs. It's just, I mean, like, it's not gonna. This is just great control piece against like aggro stuff.
If only there was a leader to give a sentinel every turn and force it to be attacked.
God damn it. Okay. All right. I hate you. No.
I mean, like, if it's
it
Ahsoka's
is.
ship, it's designed to be around with Ahsoka, right? So
Probably.
Yeah.
also coincidentally, you could do it with Chewbacca, but it's probably not its intended target.
Honestly, I would still consider running this in a Gar Saxon deck, just because of, pre-Vizsla, not Gar Saxon. In a pre-Vizsla deck, mainly, even if I'm paying the 2 additional costs for it, because you're automatically making this into a 5/5 as soon as it gets attacked. With pre-Vizsla's ability, because you give it an experience token, it becomes upgraded and it gets +1 attack.
Gar Saxon, not pre-Vizsla.
It is Gar Saxon, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. You are
super
right about Gar
Vizsla
Saxon.
gives you cards for like damage.
Yeah.
This does not do any of that.
Yeah, so like I absolutely love, like, I would love to put this as a space unit onto into that deck. I think this is a really strong card for a lot of different decks, honestly.
Yeah, the Clan Saxon Gauntlet has the same thing, but it's also Sentinel.
Yeah.
It's a 6 cost. It's a 6 cost, but
you can't play this in Gar Saxon for 3. You're playing it for 5.
For 5. Yeah.
And then at that point, you might as well just play the Gar Saxon Gauntlet, JJ.
I still take it, bro. I mean, if it gives me a free experience point, if I'm doing that, and if I could put a shield on it somehow, like, it's even better.
All right.
Lando, give it a shield.
There you go. All right. What's the next one that we have?
Up next, we have Shatterpoint. It is a 4-cost blue event. It's got the Force trait. And it says, choose one. Defeat a non-leader unit with 3 or less remaining health. Or use the Force, and if you do, defeat a non-leader unit. So it can either be kind of an expensive, like, removal of 3 cost, or like a slightly cheaper, like Vanquish. Which I like. I like that there's options. It's just 4 costs a little bit steep if you're using the first option.
I'm surprised it doesn't let you destroy X-Wing.
Is it because he's just plowing through one of the windows?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Or is a weird AMG joke about how they thought Shatterpoint destroyed
That too.
X-Wing?
It's multiple levels on that one, yes.
That's very deep. But yeah, like, this is it's an uncommon card too, so it seems like pretty solid. Just like a solid, like, force-based removal option instead of Vanquish.
Yeah.
And it's nice that it's like, anything. It's not a leader.
All right. The next one we have, JJ.
Next one here is our 3rd Purgle card that we have revealed so far. So this is a 5-cost Graceful Purgle. It's a blue aspect only, coming in at 2 attack and 7 health with the creature tag on there, and it has just Sentinel on there. So it's a pretty big body for space for 5 costs. Could have its uses there, especially if you have some way to buff it with either like a shield or experience
or a lightsaber.
Electro staff, so they get -1 attack and they have to go into your giant space sentinel. Yeah.
A General's Blade space sentinel. Yes. Oh man. Yes, please. Well taken.
Again, like Electro Staff, it just fits so well because you're just like, oh, I have to get through this like giant, stupid space whale. It's just like killing all my stuff, and I can't kill it. Because what General's Blade is, or not General's Blade, sorry, the Electro Staff is +2/+2. So when he's defending,
Yeah,
you do 4. It's a 4/9 Sentinel that you get -1 attacking.
Yep.
But actually, I kind of like this just because I like stalling space stuff. Like I don't really care too much about the reciprocal attack for a lot of control decks. It's more like I just needed to hit like 2 to 3 hits. So it's kind of interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I think it slows that arena down quite a bit.
Yeah,
and you're there at minimum using 2 units to kill it. Or they have to use, or a spell. I guess they could use a spell. But if you notice, like with it only having the 2 health, like I mean, you can't fell the dragon it unless they upgrade it, right?
Yeah, the 2 attack. Yeah.
So you can vanquish it, or you can rivals fall it, and that's like it, really. Like, or I guess you could Shatterpoint it. There you go. You can Shatterpoint it now. So there you go. Now we can use Shatterpoint. So
hey, it's still less than fell if you give it the Electro Staff too.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think that part is actually like we've talked about that before a little bit with those Concordon interceptors and how good those can be. This is like an upgraded Concordon interceptor, except for it just doesn't kill your unit back. That's kind of the bigger difference. But it could, I guess, if you put Electro Staff on it. Like, I guess people are going to be doing this. Like, that's going to be a
You
thing.
can also upgrade it with Ray, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. Give it an extra health and an extra attack. It's still out of the range. Yeah.
Yep.
So I actually agree with you. I think this is a really good card. This will be crazy in draft.
That'd be really frustrating in draft. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next one we have is just Dooku. He's not a count yet, I guess. He's just Dooku. He's a Force Jedi. 4 cost yellow, 5/4. He comes in hidden. And when played, each friendly unit with hidden can't be attacked for this phase. That's actually pretty good. Especially if you are playing a lot of hidden units. I have added him to my third sister. It's third sister, right? Yes. Yep. I've added him to my third sister red-yellow deck, which actually as down as I was on third sister. I have won a lot of games with her. Holy crap. Compared to what I thought I would.
Well, when they can't attack your units like you played in your aggro deck, that tends to work out pretty well.
Yep. So she has immediately gotten like raised up, and this card just like makes it even better because like everything then becomes hidden again. And you can play it at the beginning of the turn, and they can play spells to kill it, but that's it. Like you don't have the ability to attack into them. And I'm wondering if we're gonna get a card that says you're no longer hidden. Maybe we should get a Pelp card that says I can see you.
Well, there was one in last set, right, where everyone just like loses Saboteur and gains Sentinel.
Yep.
So it could be like everyone loses Hidden and gains nothing or something,
Yeah.
There is like a basis for that.
Yeah. But it was too late for Dooku. So we're getting 2 Dookus basically this set. So you can now run all 3 in your deck, by the way, baby. As long as you run
units plus the leader.
Yep, if you really want to.
Hey, notably, this is also a Jedi, right? So, Tanner, I know you played Quinlan ECL a little bit. You can't attach General's Blade to him for benefit.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and you could probably do it because he's hidden. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Nobody will be able to kill him. He will suffer to like certain spell cards, but outside of that,
takedowns and stuff, kill it and open fire and things like that. But that's true for anything with 4 and 5 health.
Yeah. And it doesn't say when he dies that all the hidden stuff gets removed. So even if they do kill him, the rest of your units are golden for the rest of that phase at least.
Yeah, it's got like that like wolf kind of like lingering effect. There's like, hey, when you play it, just bases can't be healed.
Yeah. He's you can also bring him back with Pelp's Return, right? Like I know that like it's a 6 cost, but like if you are playing a hidden deck with green yellow, he is a very good unit to be able to bring back to stop like the bleeding from people being able to wipe your stuff off the board. So we'll see. I think we'll need a few more hidden units, but so far, like, I mean, again, you've got like there's enough, I think, right now to make it so that he's at least decent in that deck. So, all right, let's go on to the next one.
Okay. So this is Internant Warrior. Or Itinerant, sorry.
Yeah, itinerant.
The moving places to places. That's what it is.
Okay, there you go.
I'm bad at pronunciation for this. Sorry. So it's a 4/4 for 4 blue hero ground unit. It has the Force and Jedi traits. It's shielded, and when played, you may use the Force. If you do, heal 3 damage from a base. Seems
good.
Okay.
No, it's pretty good.
I mean, the shield is nice. The 4/4 for 4 is a little bit low, but the shield it helps out with that, and healing it from a base is really nice. A lot of blue kind of already does that, but if you need more healing, and the Force is probably not terribly hard to generate, so it's kind of cool. If there was like a really cool Aether Sprite that lets you play when played abilities twice, that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything though because you can't use the Force twice, but
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, I don't like it. I think it's fine. I think Tanner, you're much higher on this than me.
I like this unit. I actually think this is it's for a 4/4/4 with a when played ability and shielded. Like I feel this is like undercosted to some extent. So I will say yes. You're right. Yeah, well, whatever. It's a 4/4, but I mean, like I have been playing around with this card, and having decent success with it.
I feel like Blue Hero has so much restore already that like the when played heal 3 is less impactful. But then that's my inkling. JJ, what do you think?
I like it. I mean, there's definitely a lot of different ways to attain the Force, and there's that base as well that enables you to gain the Force with 3 times in a game. So if you're able to use all 3 charges for this, that's 12 health that you can recover from your base pretty easily, and that's not factoring in any other ways to recover Force from like restore units or like bounties and stuff. So this is a really, really good way to just keep your base health up and just frustrate your opponent if you want to.
Well, JJ,
this is definitely going to see some play.
It's a when played,
Yeah,
not like on attack.
Yeah, you can't recur this.
Yeah, I mean,
but also,
I mean, if you're carrying 3 copies of it in your deck, I mean, that's
sure.
You only want to have 1 in your deck, so don't worry.
I was gonna say like the Force is binary too. You either have it or you don't. You don't have like multiple stacks of it, so unfortunately, can't just be like blow a couple of these. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're the multiple copies. Sure, I don't know. The art looks slick though. I like it. I like the colors.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Qi'ra Mundi.
Yeah, so we got the 4-cost Qi'ra Mundi. We must push on as the subtext there, coming in with the red and heroic aspects, coming in with 4 attack and 4 health. And he is a Force, Jedi, and Republic character, and he reads, when played, you may use the Force, and if you do, you draw 2 cards. Pretty decent. It's a good way to just continue to pull cards into your hand, and that we could play stuff there. Kind of it definitely has some uses in certain decks, especially if you're actually looking to discard cards for particular effects as well. That also works in those type of decks as well. Like if you have Migs, and then you out of the 2 cards that you draw, you then like discard 1 and deal damage and go that way. Now we have constant ammo. Those are kind of nice ways to go through. Definitely would work better in some of the bases that allow you to carry more cards in your deck, so that way you have more ammo to use. But that's really heavily building into that style. But definitely will have some uses to play for sure.
Weirdly, he has an effect with Marin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is there like a lore reason why all the Qi'ra Mundi units just like draw a couple of cards? Is there, or is that just like what they decided for him to do? Like,
I think that's what they decided for him.
Okay,
yeah.
he's just like the Conehead guy that just shows up. I'm just like, okay. I like it more than the last guy. I like it more than the last card, honestly. In red, like JJ was saying, you do. You tend to play more aggressive, which means you generally play lower costing cards. So the more you can draw cards, the more cards you can play.
I think this card's great.
Yeah.
I love this card. This card's like top of the list for me right now. I like this more than like the other ones. I do like Dooku quite a bit, but I really like this card a lot.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like it.
You want to pillage me? Go ahead. I'm just going to draw 2 more cards after that. Here, take this. All right. Well, that was all the spoilers I have. We never went over Grungy. I think Alex gave me a whole bunch of crap because we didn't go over Grungy. He's a 2-cost Grungy. I call him Grungy. He's from
Gungi?
Gungi. Yeah, he's from High Republic. So
Oh, okay.
that's where he's from. But he's a 2-cost, like 2/5 Force little
Force Jedi and Wookiee.
Yep. So he's cute. He's pretty good too, actually. I've been playing him in a lot of decks.
Yeah, he's a 2/5 for 2 green hero Jedi trait.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
But that's all the spoilers that we have. We're going to move on and talk a little bit more about some tournament results. So before we get into Alex's run and the specific tournament from that that day, we're going to talk a little bit about the UKGE. I think that's I don't know how you say it, but that's how that the UKGE, I guess. UKGE. I don't know.
Huge.
It's huge. There you go. It's huge. We're going to talk a little bit about that before we get into some of the other stuff, and we're probably not going to go over every single list like in detail, but we are going to touch on them because we've seen a lot of the lists. There's one of my favorite leaders just happened to win it again. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's just the best leader. I don't know. Let's get into our Chaos of War. All right, folks. Our Chaos of War. We're going to start off with talking about tournament results. These results, obviously, it has to be over like 40 or 50 people for the results to be captured, just as an FYI. Qi'ra remaining on top still, with everybody running data vaults, I guess, for taking down the most tournaments. Rey sneaking up there into second place, which I think she was last week too.
But now she's no longer tied with other people.
Yeah, now she's no longer tied with anybody else, which is kind of nice to see. Just as an overall leader perspective, Han 2 is creeping up there as the second most represented tournament winner leader. And we're going to go over
Town.
Yep,
for not being in the meta.
Yeah, if somebody needs to bring Tarkatown back, please, baby, so that we can stop seeing this Han 2 deck everywhere we go. But yeah, so it still feels pretty healthy meta. I don't know about you guys, but I still feel like even with the winning, it feels like it's sliding to Qi'ra a little bit more than maybe it should. I think Qi'ra's a good deck, but I do kind of question sometimes, is there enough stuff out there that we could just be running Pelp and knocking Qi'ra completely down? But that's a conversation for a little bit later. Top 8 leaders, Qi'ra still reigning on the top, followed by Sabine for top 8. Sorry, this is top 8 leaders. Vader kind of picking up a little bit, a couple of extra tops here that hadn't been in there earlier. Quinlan still show noticeably high in the ranking, and we're seeing Han 1 kind of still being popular enough to provide results, just not able to take anything down, it seems.
Yeah, Quinlan Tarkenton being 49 top 8s and having not in the top 8 leaders is kind of wild. Leaders that win PQs and higher. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The disparity on that, it can make the top 8, it's just not winning tournaments. So
yeah, and I think the Tarkentowns work really well to knock out some of the Hans, but if people aren't running them. I mean, I think Quinlan still is in there. We see some CAD, right? Like Raytan again, be top 8 at a PQ.
I think there was 3 Cad Banes at that PQ, but
yep. There was 3 in the top 8. We'll have to go over 2 of them. but it must be like the meta over there. Everybody just runs Cad Bane in Ohio. Ohio must be Cad Bane territory. Which makes me want to run my Piat deck over there because my Piat deck loves Cad Bane. Just eat y'all to pieces. So I don't know. Even this top 8 still makes me feel more comfortable that the meta is pretty diverse. I'm a little sad that Anakin's kind of falling off. I think people are jumping on the Han 2 blue train over Anakin. And I don't know because I've not played enough of it to tell you which is better. I will tell you that Han 2 cheats things out so much faster that if you can't control them, you have a harder time taking care of that. But I think like if Han's going to be bigger, then we're just going to see Target Town stuff come back. I mean, that's going to become a thing again, where everybody's running Target Town, except for me.
Is Target Town good into Qi'ra?
Not really, in my opinion. Because you're shielding you're shielding your units. You don't get into Qi'ra. Boba Fett's like a really good into Qi'ra. Like those just tear Qi'ra to shreds. And Sabine does decent into Qi'ra as well because it's a pretty big aggro deck, and if you can't stop their roll, you just win. And Vader 4 is kind of similar. Luke 4 is kind of similar. Like if you run a little bit more aggro-ish against Qi'ra, she has a little bit harder of a time stabilizing. But once she stabilizes, you're just out of luck. Like,
yeah.
I just run my deck and have a better endgame.
Than Qi'ra? Well, I mean, you got Crate Dragon, so. Yeah. Qi'ra doesn't really care too much about Crate Dragons either, but
just playing cards.
Yeah. It does, but I'll just play a Velvet Dragon and or maybe Kira's will start running choose sides, and then you take your Crate Dragons from you.
Yeah, right.
You still eat the 7.
That's fine. You do it to the Crate Dragon I just stole. Anyway, I think that the meta feels pretty well. I don't think Target Town's that good into Qi'ra personally. I have not seen that big of a issue with it. I mean, I will say like like a Kylo Target Town that can go really fast can be, yes. That's a little bit different, I think, than some of the other stuff. If Qi'ra doesn't ramp, she can't control Kylo, but I think that's any deck, right? If Kylo doesn't win by turn 4, Kylo probably just is not going to win that game. So let's move into the UKGE. How do you say it, JJ? Huge.
Yeah, just ignore the K and you're good.
Huge. You sound like you sound like Donald Trump now. That's who you sound like. This is a huge tournament. All right, so as you can see here, so I guess the way they played this is they did kind of the 2-day tournament, well, a separate tournament on each day, and they took the top 8 of each one and threw them into a Sunday top 16. They had roughly 100-ish for each of the days, so that's pretty good. So you think it's a 200-person tournament. They did a top 16, which feels pretty good. I like that. I like those odds a little bit better than a 200 or 600 person top 8. But as you can see, Han Data Vault taking day 1, followed by a Quinlan Blue. And yes, we'll cover that list because that's the list we could not find, I think, last week when we talked about it. Like there was a Quinlan Blue I wanted to cover last week and we didn't get to, and like I wanted Alex to go through. I want Alex to go through this list. Because I think that's gonna be like a question: is Quinlan Blue something that is can become more viable in this meta if we're going to start seeing these Hans crop up? We also saw an Anakin and a Boba and a Qi'ra Data Vault. So everybody's just running Data Vault. And then you have a lonely Luke Skywalker Target Town baby. I'm excited to go through Pilot Luke. I'm excited to go through that list too. I like that list, but I don't have a Luke showcase, so
can't run any leaders unless I got a showcase,
I know I ran Pelp all the time, and I ran Qi'ra, and I have no showcases for either. If somebody would like to donate $200, I can get a Qi'ra showcase, but I do not have $200 to get a Qi'ra showcase right now. We also the day 2 or their Saturday, it looks like this meta was even crazier. They had the Akbar data vault. I played this list. I do not understand how this list like does super, super well. Like I have played it and I don't think it's that good personally. Like just I like it. I think it's super fun to play, but I do not understand how this list wins all the time. I don't get it.
I don't see it either, honestly. And I play Akbar, not Data Vault, but it's just like do people not see what's going on? Are they going like super tall into it because he just exhausted and doesn't matter, or like do they not realize that he just can generate a bunch of stuff? I don't get. We'll get to it when we talk about it.
Yeah. We also saw a Han 2 blue. Boba data vault again. We had a showing of Admiral Piat, which I'm excited about. That I'm excited to see that in the top 8. And we had a Obi Papu City or Pau City or however you say that, which is just crazy. I didn't even know that was a combination. Alex says that that's a kind of a common combination.
It is for my locals, at least.
So, I mean, I tried actually running that with Han, that base with Han. Han 1 and had decent success with it, in my opinion. Like it felt really good. There's Han being able to have that extra health sometimes. So here we have the winner of the whole event, Qi'ra Data Vault. I don't know, it looks familiar. I don't know. I thought that list didn't do well or was not a good list, but seems like it's working pretty well.
I say I don't like it.
It's the tie daggers. That's what really puts this list over the top.
I do like that they included tie daggers in this. This list is a little bit more controlling. I mean, and it has some other like extra healing. Like I'm surprised they're not running Chilson in this list because they have almost all blue cards. Like you could just trade out those patrol V-wings for 2 more of those Onyxes, and like you basically have enough cards to run Chilson. So I don't know. Like I think Chilson could belong in this specific list, but the major differences you're seeing in this list is this has 2 of the patrol V-wings, which draws you the card, which I guess is good, right? Like I don't know. It's good in Pelp. I just don't see it here. But I guess it helps you dig through the deck, right? Like it's just helping you dig through the deck faster. The other big notable difference is they went to 3 Fells and 2 Rivals, and they added in 3 Dooku's, which we have not seen Qi'ra players play before. But I mean, it's 7 costs. It gives you a removal option, similar-ish to like Vader being able to ambush in. So I don't know. I don't hate it, I guess. I don't like that they're not running Devastator's main deck, though. So, like, that bothers me. I don't understand why you would not want that. And they also have the Cargo Juggernaut for extra healing abilities. I don't know. It's okay. This is different Qi'ra than we've seen before.
Yeah.
So, this guy's in my playtesting group. And he always has those double V-wings in every deck that he plays.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
Because that is just, it's a little bit of a meme, but also, you know, just drawing cards, having a body, you know, just having fun. So that's pretty cool that, yeah, I mean, they obviously want it, right? It's just nice to see the people's face when they're just like, what do you V-wings? What? Why?
Oh, it does enable that tie dagger Vanguard though, right? Like because you can play that, draw your extra card, swing in, do your 1 damage, and then drop that, kill whatever their first turn play is. So like it does have that. I won't lie and say it does have value. I don't.
This is also the same person that played the Ray Data Vault back in Lille, in France, and started the whole Ray Data Vault train. They switched sides. Yeah. Because
this is a lot better to play in mirrors than Ray Data Vault is to play in mirror. I hate playing Ray Data Vault mirrors. So I don't know. I like the list. It's not that much different. Let's move on.
I'm happy there's the tie daggers in there over like the Death Troopers.
Yes, and I think we're seeing that as a little bit more of a trend coming in there. It makes so much more sense in the long run of things. The second list is a Yoda green. So I'm not surprised. Personally, I'm not surprised that the Qi'ra beat this. Personally, this does not have Endless Legions in it at all.
Nope.
So this is not that type of Yoda. I don't know. Do we want to cover this? Have we covered a Yoda green? I don't think we have we?
Not like this.
Okay.
Let's
go through it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so this is 30 health Yoda. Yoda green. So this has triple Battlefield Marine, triple of the Coruscant Guard. That's the 3-2 ambush with coordinate guy. 2 of the Gamorrean Retainers. 1 of the Outspoken Representative. 1 V-Wing as well. Double Akbar. Double Blue Leader. Triple Concord Dawn Interceptors. Double Tech. Triple Village Protectors. Double Yoda. Triple Resupply. Triple You're My Only Hope. Double Perilous, triple Fell, triple Takedown, double Rivals, triple Luke, triple U-Wing, a blue Chewbacca, and triple Home 1. In the side, you have 1 Confiscate, triple Eager Escort Fighter, double Traitorous, 1 Captain Rex, 1 Rivals Fall, and double Choose Sides. This person is also in my playtesting group. So it was pretty cool to have both teammates play each other in the finals.
Nice.
Yeah, I like this Yoda deck. Like, I don't, this is more my style than the Ray Data Vault pieces. I do like that they have that the representative. I wish it was more than a one of. I don't really like these one-off type things, but I do really like that card. I love that card actually quite a bit. We use that in a lot of testing. Eric and I had. So
yeah, it's just kind of funny that like 100% of the people that drove there in the PQ were the finals.
Nice.
It's just him and his buddy. Yeah, so I like this deck. I think it's pretty cool. The Captain Rex is still a little bit weird to me, but it is an instant coordinate, so it does turn on things like the Coruscant Guard and the Outspoken Representative, and has more units for Akbar. And and the Chewbacca you could also smuggle out, although it is more expensive because it does smuggle out for red.
All right, let's move on. The third place was a Han Data Vault. Which I thought, I think this is kind of the typical one that we've kind of seen. There's not there's 3 Confiscates main deck, which I think is unique. We haven't seen that all the time.
And it's got 3 heavies as well, which typically you only see in the ECL version.
Yeah. I like the 3 heavies personally. I think that's a good call. I think actually heavy does a lot more work than people think it does. I don't think you get the raid off, but I mean, like, you could play a Poe and a heavy, and then like you immediately have raid, right? Like,
yep.
And you don't have to put Poe on a ship. You can just leave Poe on the ground, and Poe on the ground is fine. He's a 3/3 on the ground, right? Like he's fine.
I mean, he's so good though. He's so good when he uses the ability to just shove him in that X-wing.
Oh yeah,
4 or 5 space unit for 3. It's just so good. I like that they put the Guerrilla attack pods in those. I have that in my Han decks, and you just drop them, and now they're a 6/4 readied unit for 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets
I always used to main deck them when I was running Han. Like, they're just such a great value piece for Han.
The Carabas is interesting. I get it, because you don't have a lot of removal in this, which is why they're actually main decking 2 Felda Dragons. Which I like, but you don't really have a lot of removal in green-red hero. So like having Carabast, or like occasionally you'll see Overwhelming Barrage actually sided in, or like Strike True, just to have some form of removal to deal with units.
Yeah. Their sideboard has the bombing runs and the open fires and a 3rd fell as well. So
Yeah.
That's kind of neat seeing some of that.
Yeah, occasionally you do see like Stella Guerrera, just because you have
Enough
a
stuff.
fair amount of tactics, but not so much in this one. They're all mostly in the side.
Yeah, they're all in the side.
Oh yeah, Fell the Dragon technically is a tactic, but that's going to cost you 6 anyways.
All right, we're going to move on to the Admiral Akbar Data Vault. I do think this is different as well than the other one. I don't remember though, because I don't
Honestly,
remember.
I don't think it is.
Oh, is it the same? It might be the same guy because he was a UK player. So,
I'll let JJ go through it though. It's all wild.
Yeah, this is a JJ deck right here.
Yeah. So the next one here we got the Data Vault Admiral Akbar here. So we got one copy of the Defender, 2 Hotshot DL-44 blasters, 2 Anakin Skywalker pilots, 3 Coruscant guards, 3 favorable delegates, 3 Grogus, 2 copies of Phoenix Squadron A-Wing and Leia Organa, 2 copies of Bamboozle and R2-D2, 3 copies of Blue Leader and Echo Base Defender, 3 copies of the Sanctional Shuttle, 2 copies of the Sundari Peacekeepers and Waylay, 2 copies of Bright Hope and Qi'ra, 3 copies of the Resistance Blue Squadron, 3 copies each of Plo Koon and Wedge Antilles, and then 2 Timely Reinforcements, 1 Han Solo, 3 copies of Chew Sides, 3 U-Wing Reinforcements, and then lastly 3 Home Ones to round off the list. And then the sideboards here, we got 2 copies of Salvage, 1 additional Bamboozle, 2 Cloud Riders, 1 additional Sundari Peacekeepers, 2 Techs, 1 Emphas Nest, and the 1 or the 3rd Bright Hope that's in there. Definitely a really interesting way to build out this Akbar list here. You got a lot of we got a mixed amount of units across the board that you typically don't want to exhaust with Akbar. I mean, with the exception, I guess, of the Sentinel units that you don't necessarily have to send into attack. They're just there basically to block your opponent from like attacking your base. It's definitely interesting. Same thing with like the Sanctional Shuttle, just being able to like capture a unit really early and then just exhaust it constantly. To build out more token units for Akbar is really good. I definitely love the Wedge Antilles addition in there just to make those vehicle units a lot stronger. It does feel like this is kind of light for space units, but with all the different reinforcement cards that you have on here, you can easily bring out these units out faster. So it's definitely a really interesting way to build Akbar. This is probably one of the more unique ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah,
how does this win?
It's wild.
Can I ask how this wins? I don't understand how this wins.
Magic.
It's not magic.
It's Star Wars Unlimited.
I mean, like, I guess I understand like the way the Wedge works. I understand the way the Plo Koon works. I understand the Qi'ra's in it, but I just don't 100% understand. Like, I don't know, and maybe it's just be like when I play Qi'ra, I beat this. Like, it's not even like it's. Oh no, you exhausted something, and then if you attack, I just don't get it. Like, I guess I haven't played Vader into this, but I played Han 4 Lake Country into this and didn't seem to have too many issues. So I guess I don't understand how this list works to win all the time.
Some players are just really good at the game.
I mean, he did really well, obviously, to hit 4th place, right?
Well, and he was like first in the second day Swiss too.
Yeah.
And there's got to be more to this than just catching people off guard. I hope, right? Like there's again, I play like mono yellow Akbar, so it's just a little bit weird to me that like people are just like not being able to like you're at a very competitive deck. A very competitive tournament, bringing competitive decks. It just seems like this would falter a little bit. I mean, the Resistance Blue Squadron's nice, so maybe they're just like maybe they just snowball really well. That's my only thought.
I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to put this on the table. Maybe I need to put this on the table. Let's move on. We have Anakin Data Vault, another Data Vault deck. This one is the Anakin version of it. This has 3 R2D2s, 3 Timelies, 3 Battlefield Marines, 3 C3POs, 3 of the Red Squadron A-Wings, 3 Green Squadron A-Wings. I apologize. It's a red card that's called a Green Squadron.
Right.
3 Sabines,
Blue leader is green
3
card.
Blue Leaders, 3 Cassian, 2 Fang Fighters main deck, 3 of the Echo-based Defenders, 2 Freedom Fighters, 2 Sundari Peacekeepers, 1 Tech, 3 Open Fires, 3 General's Blade, 3 Bright Hopes, 2 Cham Sedulas, only 2 K2s, and then they also are main decking 2 Fell the Dragons, 3 Poes, 2 Recons, 2 Wreckers, 2 of the Reinforcement Walkers, and 2 Crate Dragons. Their sideboard is 2 Tanevs, the 3rd Fang Fighter, 2, those are piercing shots, right?
Shots, yep.
Yeah. 1 more Tech, 1 more Cham, and 3 bombing runs, obviously, for the Vaders, or I guess Akbars too now. Vaders and Akbars, we're just going to say that. I like this Anakin version. I think this is more fun to run than the blue version, personally. If I'm going to run it. Cham being able to be, swing in for 7 and kill like a leader is so good. Like, just stupid good in this deck. And you have the extra health. You don't care as much about doing damage to your base now. And it makes your Anakin leader a little bit better because now you have that extra tier of health that you weren't getting before. I don't know. I like this deck personally more than I like the blue version of it. But
I have a local that's running something incredibly similar. I don't think he's got Fell the Dragons. He still has like Strike Trues.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it just it's really hard if you are like backpedaling to do much against this deck, just because it keeps dropping stuff that just swings higher than they usually do. So it trades very efficiently.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Like that's like you're Anakin. Like this deck says Anakin's not my end game.
Right.
Anakin's my mid game in this deck, right? My end game is my Wreckers and my Reinforcement Walkers and my my Crate Dragons. So especially Wrecker being able to swing 9 Overwhelm into something, yeah.
I've had it happen. Yeah, it's not fun.
Like you have to kill the Wrecker before it does anything.
Yeah, typically, I mean, Wreckers are usually for ECL, but you do have triple Timelies. They don't have the Stellas to pick up the Timelies, so that's a little bit atypical. Usually you'd see it in probably the Fighters for Freedom spot, although, Stella costs 1 more, I get it. But, yeah, I mean, it's still really nice sometimes to just drop Wrecker and kill something for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or do what they did at the Ohio tournament and then drop Wrecker, play it, defeat a resource, and then kill your own K2 and then do 3 damage to their base for the win.
All right, well, that's mean.
It's funny.
That is pretty funny.
Because you do timely Wrecker in, get the overwhelm damage, drop the resource on the K2, and there's more damage.
Yeah, I like this deck. I think this is probably a little bit more my style than the Han 2 is. Personally, I would play this over Han 2, but I could see the draw for both sides. So
I do like it.
All right, let's go on to Admiral Piat, baby. Look at this. This is exciting. Came in 6th on Sunday. I love this deck. Love it. Definitely different than my version. This is not the same version I was running. But I do like this. I don't know who wants to take this one.
I'll take this one. So we got Piet running the Nadiri Dockyards, which I gotta say, this is my favorite art on a base. Just seeing that Starhawk on there is just so good. So we got 3 copies of the OOM series officer, 3 Vanguard droid bombers, 3 Viper probe droids, 2 Force chokes, 2 Price on Your Heads, 2 Phase 3 Dark Troopers, 3 Super Laser Techs and Merciless Contests, 3 copies of Open Fire and Resupply, 2 MC-30 Assault frigates, 3 OBs or Overwhelming Barrages, 3 copies of the Ruthless Raiders, 3 Invisible Hands, 3 planetary bombardments, 2 copies of Maul, 2 Architons, Assault Cruisers, and 3 Devastators, as well as 2
Green Devastators.
2 Green Devastators, yeah. And then in the sideboard there, we got 2 copies of Salvage, 2 Confiscates, 3 Traitoresses, 2 copies of Turbo Laser Bombardment,
Salvo, baby,
and then a third Green Devastator to fill the sideboard in there. I gotta say, I think I would have added a third Architons in there and maybe dropped like a one of the Invisible Hands, just because with Piet, obviously you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to ramp up, right, a little bit, and if you're able to get the Architons out for cheaper, then this just keeps on helping you with the ramp, so that we can get onto your 10 cost Green Devastator and put it out there a little bit sooner. But that's just me. But I absolutely love this Piet deck. I actually would consider running this particular version of it, just because it feels like it would do a little better for the way how I play. But I like this a lot. Piet is just so nice with all those capital ships. I also would have considered putting the Qi'ra in here as well, the newer one, just so when it does go, just gives you 2 extra tokens to help screen. But
it's blue. It's blue, JJ. Stop it.
I don't care.
It's not worth it.
Piet. You got Piet, man.
You could just play Droid Manufactory. You could play Droid Manufactory for 2. There you go. And get your effing droids.
That's true.
I do like that the Invisible Hand can actually put in like the OOM, the bombers, and the Viper Pro droids off its when played in attack, and then you can also pull the Phase 3s. You can't play them for immediately, but you can still pull, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very similar to mine, except for a little bit droid based. I also have 3 Mauls and not 2 Mauls. But that's just me. And I also run 3 Green Devastators. Though I did try out one of the Executors just for the hell of it. Like, so 2 Devastators and 1 Executor.
I saw an Executor in Ohio, but we'll get to that.
So I like this deck.
Happy.
I think this deck is good. I think, you know, it suffers a little bit to certain types of other like other aggro decks, and it does suffer it doesn't want to see a Boba really, because it doesn't have a lot of stuff that can absorb the damage. But I do think this with some of the meta shifting away from Sabine specifically, this deck can kind of start to shine again. The next deck we have is a Han Blue. Do we have to go over this? This is this is a JJ deck. I don't understand this deck. I've got 1 Resolute, baby. Like, here, let me give you 1 Resolute, 1 Open Fire, 1 Obi-Wan. I don't want to. We're not going over.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the one that we already covered before.
Yeah.
I do like Han Blue. I do not like this deck. I would never run this version of it, but all right. So I'm very excited about this deck. This is 8th place at the tournament this weekend, and this was the Quinlan Blue deck. Alex, we're going to talk a little bit about this. I've been trying to get Quinlan Blue to work, and I would love for this to be a thing. This has 3 Hotshot Blasters, 2 Favorable Delegates, 3 Grogus, 3 of those Outspoken Representatives, which is what we had been testing. I love that card so much. 3 of the X-34 Land Speeders, 3 Entrenched, 2 Ezra, which I think is a crime, 3 Falcons, the old Falcon from set 1, 3 Sanctuary Shuttles, 2 Techs, 3 Village Protectors, 3 Yodas, 2 Waylays, 2 Jedi Lightsabers, 3 Ahsoka Tanas, the 4 cost, 2 The Forces With Me, 3 Plos, 2 Han Ambush Hans, the 7 cost Ambush Han, 3 of the Lukes, and 2 Tranquility, baby. Their sideboard I don't approve of, but their sideboard is 1 escort. No, it's not escort. It's a wolf, whatever the wolf.
It's a wolf pack escort. Yeah.
Yeah. 3. I don't even know what the next one is. 3
disruptive burst.
That's what it is. Yep. 3 disruptive bursts.
Give all the units -1/-1.
Yeah. I guess for the Vaders and of the world.
Presumably. And the Akbars.
And the Akbars now. 2 direct hits, 2 fells, 1 change sides, and a 3rd tranquility. Outside of a few changes, this is almost identical to my deck that I've been playing around with. I do not have tranquilities. I actually have the Tantives in there. That's what I have in place of those. Though I guess I could see the use of the tranquilities, right? Like I guess I could see because you can loop the things.
Well, and you actually have a fair bit of Republic stuff, right?
Yeah,
like with the representatives, the Plo Koon, the Sanctuary shuttles, all that stuff. Yeah, so I can see why they threw it in there.
Yeah, I like this. I personally like this deck. This is like one of my favorite. Like I would love for this to be really good. Alex, what do you think? What changes would you make to this deck?
Honestly, I'd probably just slide out the disruptive bursts and then put in Concordons. Because you have the triple entrenched main deck, you can just like entrench a Concordon, which I feel like is like maybe roughly the same thing. Although the disruptive burst,
that's JTL Vader tech basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's just -1/-1, so kill all the ties. It probably can be, niche uses here and there. Like a lot of stuff has like 2 health. Maybe the Quinlan ping will kill it, kind of thing. But I like my Concordon interceptors a lot.
Yeah. And do we really in this deck? Do you really need the text? Like tech kind of feels like the guilty pleasure of this deck, right? Like I don't know if you need text. I guess
it seems like it'd be better if it was in the side because all the sideboard cards are the ones that you want to tech out.
Yeah.
Right, because like tax usually just like, well, I don't have options for these removals yet, but I will in the future, so I can play tack and then next turn smuggle out like a direct hit or a fell or change a heart or something.
Yeah, because I also don't have text in mind either. I remember I have the Ularans because he's a Republic unit. I think I have the blue Ularans in there.
He does. He's the vehicle,
Yeah.
Roulette wheel, something for the vehicle.
Yeah, so I think I have him in there instead of the text in my deck as well. So like other than that, my deck is almost identical to this. So I like it. I like this deck though. Like this was fun to run back at the beginning of the set. I kind of just gave up on it, and now I feel like maybe I shouldn't have.
You can always go back. There's plenty of time before the next set comes out.
I don't know. Do you think I can learn this before I go to another PQ?
It was your PQ in like a week?
2?
Oh, see, plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'd be running my Vader deck. I know it.
I could be, actually. I could be running my Vader deck too. So.
Well, that's the wrong Vader.
I'll be with Stan Azuski. There you go. Me and Stanny running Vader. I don't know. I like this deck. That's all of the UK decks that we have. I wanted to cover those because I think like that being the largest tournament that we had this weekend, I think it's kind of important to kind of segregate that and say, hey, this is kind of like you go to a larger tournament. This is kind of the meta. Though I don't think we have much meta left to worry about because we're gonna have set 5 coming out in a month. So
yeah.
But all right. Well, why don't we move on? Let's talk a little bit about Alex's run. We're going to go on to Alex's North Homestead. We'll call it the North Ohio PQ at Recess Games.
It's like just outside Cleveland. Like it's not crazy.
Yeah, it's a good part of Ohio, right? Like the Ohio only has 2 good parts: Cleveland and Cincinnati. Everything else is garbage.
I still say only if you believe that Toledo belongs in Michigan. We fought a war for that, damn it.
We did. I actually, I'm from Toledo, right? Like I was born in Springfield. I lived in Springfield, Ohio for 3 years. And then I lived in Toledo for 13 years after that. So 12 years. 12 years after that. But
Yeah. Yes, so this is the deck that I brought to the North Olmsted PQ. It was at Recess Games, which I went to a lot with X-Wing. Fantastic store. Huge, clean, really nice, strong AC. Can't ask for anything else.
Strong AC.
they have very limited bathrooms for the size of their store, though.
I got 4. There's just 2 of them are not advertised well.
Yeah. And they're all one stallers, so
It's true. Yeah, so I brought Set 1 Vader, Data Vault, because everyone's running Data Vault. Which is why I played this deck, because everyone's running Data Vault. So I figured I'll just have a better endgame than your Data Vault deck, and because we're both going to try to get there first, or we're both going to eventually play to get there, right? So this should theoretically have a better endgame than most of the stuff that I go against. And this is like the kind of that first order package that you saw from, I believe that was Richmond. Their Vader showcase winner had like the FO package. So I'm just like, that's a neat idea. That's really cool. I can flood the board. Let's do it. So yes, Vader is a double salvage. Triple the First Order Stormtrooper. Triple the First Order TIE Fighter. Triple Timely Intervention. Triple General Hux. Very relevant. I'll get to that. Triple Silencer. Triple Force Choke. Triple Prepare for Takeoff. Triple Black Sun Starfighter. Double Disabling Fang Fighter. Triple Super Laser Attack, triple TIE Dagger, triple Open Fire, triple Resupply, double OB, double Pirate Tank, triple Resupply Carrier, triple Vader, double Red Devastator, triple Reinforcement Walker, double Crate, double Relentless, triple Green Devastator. Hell of an endgame. In the sideboard, I have 2 Eager Escort Fighters, triple the Phase 3 Troopers, double Piercing Shot, a 3rd copy of OB, and double Traitorous. It's kind of my anti-aggro sideboard there, but the Piercing Shots are really nice into like Qi'ras and Rays, because it just instantly kills an upgraded Village Protectors or whatever Qi'ra decides. Usually it's like the HMPs, the ones with grit, so you just do 2 damage to it, give it a shield, and then Piercing Shot right through it.
Yep.
But yeah, General Hux is really fun. He's a 1/4 that gives all your First Order units raid 1. And as an action, if you play an FO unit that turn, you can just draw a card. And when people see me drop Hux, which is usually like a solid first turn play, they either are very confused at what it does and scared, so they just waste a bunch of resources killing them immediately, which is fine, I guess. Or they just kind of ignore them and then just end up drawing a bunch of cards because they don't realize how many First Order units I have. Because that's like the Silencers, the Daggers, the TIE Fighters, and the Stormtroopers are all FO. So early game is just kind of flood with the FO units. And then late game is just I don't run out of gas in this late game. I don't care. You only have 3 copies of Fel the Dragon. But yeah, it can go. I played a lot of Red Palpatine, right? So I'm very used to playing Red Green Villainy, and this is just endgame city. But also, like I am able to control the boards very well. Like Sabine ECL is like a 50-50 matchup. Like I don't generally lose to that even. And then post sideboard is a lot easier because I just take out a couple of Relentless, couple Devastator, Crate Dragons or whatever, and just throw in the Phase 3s and the Traitorous and all that. It's a very fun deck.
So I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, how many cards are you running?
62, as one should.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here, because I was going to ask, I was like, if you're only running 61 cards, why not just throw the 3rd OB in there then make it 62, baby. And the second question is like, do you need those Relentless like main deck? Like, could you just leave them in the side for control matchups?
I like a main deck. They're very relevant against other Data Vault decks that are out there, right? Like, you can't play Ewing Reinforcement. You have to do something first. Like a lot of the big hitter ones, or like, Fell the Dragon plays into like a ton of copies in this deck, so it's just like, if you have to play something else, I can at least like understand that you played an event, so you're going to play another one, so I can swing with something. Also, just I don't want to lose to control, and this deck doesn't generally lose to control, so a lot of the Relentless is just because of that.
Yeah, the other crazy thing is it, so like you have your what was I gonna say? You have your Hux in there, right? And that can pull all your units. So the question then becomes is like you have your open fire, you have your resupply, you have like ultra ramp. Like what's the difference between this and boss? Because it's just because Vader gets the extra ping almost every turn? Because you could play under curve for everything, then Vader ping things, and it's like a Sabine ping, but also kills units.
Yeah, that Vader ping is very relevant. Because a lot of like the really strong first turn plays in this deck are like drop first order Stormtrooper or first order TIE Fighter and then ping their unit, and then next turn you just play like a TIE Dagger and kill it. Or other cards to continue pinging. It works well with your super laser attacks, obviously, as well. Although, I'm not sure if people realize that like the first order Stormtrooper says choose a player, so you can choose yourself, take the indirect onto the super laser attack, which is pretty nice. Those resupply carriers are like, see, I don't have Ruthless Raider in this deck, which seems very, very strange, right? Very weird. But those resupply carriers are just like really annoying because your opponent doesn't expect it, right? You're at 6 resources and they're like, okay, well, Vader's not out yet. I probably already ramped. I do generally double ramp on people frequently, which is really scary. But yeah, those resupply carriers are just like, well, you can pull them off, prepare for takeoff if you really need it, but it does just play it for 6, bring out Vader, and go to town. That was pretty relevant. But it's a fun deck. The sideboard was, kept messing around, going back and forth, but I had a weird dream that told me to run Traitorous in the sideboard, so...
And how often did you use it?
A couple times to win games, but that was just because they don't have like upgrade removal. But I'm just like, if a dream me told me to play this, I probably should listen to the universe. Those are originally planetary bombardments, but this turned out to be better into control than I originally thought, so I didn't need the planetary bombardments.
Which is traditionally what you would see like with the Bosk or the Bobas and stuff like that. Because the shell is similar-ish to the Bobas, except for you get to direct where you want your ping to go.
Yes.
I will, though, say you do run quite a few non-villain cards to not get the Vader off, but...
well, if I play Resupply Carrier, I don't have resources to deploy to ping anyways.
Yeah. And for the most part, when you deploy Vader, you're getting that 2 damage unless they kill your Vader. And I guess if they want to spend 6 resources killing your Vader, who cares,
Dude, right. And generally they can't, just because I'm like, well, I'm Vader. It's Vader time, so let's go.
I would think it would be absolutely hilarious to put 2 Vader's lightsabers in there, just because you can.
Oh, jeez.
Because you have enough Vaders,
I played a bunch of really cool decks. Like first round was like a mono yellow Han, and those were some wild series of games because he killed a Devastator by playing like cunning pumping his Falcon and then surprise striking into it. So I'm just like, oh, this Falcon took out my Devastator. Next turn I play second Devastator and you can't do that again, but it was funny.
The other thing is like, did you use those prepare for takeoffs that often? Like, is that something that you could just cut?
They are mostly for mid to end game stuff. It's not really there for early things, although I have played it early just because I have the resources. But yes, they are usually to fetch some of the later game stuff. And people really don't like it when they're just like, I want to prepare for takeoff, and I pick up the pirate tank and reinforcement walker, and they're just like, oh. Those are coming down the line.
Yeah, because you noticeably don't have Vader or the Vader pilot unit in here, and I think that would actually also be like again, you don't need it in game. It just is good early game, right, to be able to upgrade your Sentinel piece or your Mandalorian or something like that, because it does the extra ping as well as swing for something. And traditionally we've seen that, and then that justifies putting your Vader's lightsabers in, at least the sideboard.
Put them on the pirate battle tank.
Good. That pirate battle tank really messed with a lot of people. I played actually against a set 1 Vader Tarkin Town in my final round. So we're both like 4-2 trying to get into top 8. Oh yeah, spoilers, I bubbled out of top 8. I got 11th. Kind of rough. Friendly fired twice, which is really annoying. But yeah, those pirate tanks, they're just like, I ramp, I flip out my Vader. Next turn, he flips out his Vader and just like smuggle out the tank and just be like, okay, your Vader's dead this turn. My Vader's not. Yeah. It's a fun deck. It's really cool. It does psychologically damage your opponent when they like take out something huge and you continue playing big units. And those Crate Dragons won me almost every game.
So would you move to 3 of them then?
I think 2 is fine. I played against a Kylo Tarkin Town also, by the way. And in the first game, I dropped a Crate Dragon on them. And they were 1 damage away from killing me. But they were also 1 damage away from losing. So they couldn't do anything. Already claimed. And they're just like, I can't kill you. Second game, I dropped the Green Devastator on them too, because I'm very good at Kylo Tarkin Town, apparently.
Yeah. I think you have a lot of practice into it. I just wonder because like for the same cost you have in there, your Relentless, right? And you could move 1 Relentless over to a 3rd crate if you really want, if the crates were really that good. You can't pull crate off of those prepare for takeoffs though. So.
I know. Yeah.
That is the one sad thing about
every
that.
game I dropped the Crate Dragon though, I won. And I was in a losing position.
Yeah.
So it was nice. But those Relentless also just like people couldn't deal with them either. And they eat home 1s and live, which is nice.
Yes. So, all right, well, let's move on. The top winner of that tournament was a Cad Bane Data Vault.
Yep.
Of course. This tournament had 3 Data Vault or 3 Cad Banes in the top cut. So Crazy. If you liked Cad Bane, though it's funny because if you had made top cut, I think you would have had a pretty good chance against the Cad Banes. So sadly enough, like if you had gotten in, you probably would have had a higher probability of being able to, outside of those choose sides, like those choose sides would probably be a little rough for you. But outside of that, like no, they don't hold much. Like, what are you going to do? Play a Cad Bane to capture a Devastator? Oh no. Like I'm just going to kill your Cad Bane the next turn. And I don't know. So, all right. Have we gone over JJ? Why don't you go over this deck? Why don't we do that? Let's just go over this one.
So the Cad Bane Data Vault that we have here, we got 3 copies of Greedo, 3 McClunkies, and Hotshot DL44 Blasters, 3 copies each of Bazine, Cartel Spacers, and the Crafty Smugglers, 2 Sidons. We got 3 copies of No Good To Me Deads and Boba Fett, 3 Houndstooths, 3 Miss Hunters, 3, now there are 2 of them, 3 copies each of Relentless Pursuit and Resupply, 3 Forloms, 3 Bosk, 3 copies of Zuckless. Wow. 3 copies. Zuckless,
do we get to call him what's the guy's name? Chickless. What's Chickless' first name? Oh, come on.
I know. I know what you're talking about, though, but man, that's hilarious.
Anyway,
you got 3 Overwhelming Barrages, 2 copies of the Xanadu Blood, 3 Cad Banes, and 3 Mauls to round off the list. We got on the sideboard at 1 the 3rd copies of Zidane, 3 Contracted Jump Masters, 2 copies of Take Captive, 2 Choose Sides, and 2 Dryden Bosses to finish off the list there. Really great, actually. You got a lot of options here with the bounty hunters being able to go out there and capture units as you need to. Cad Bane, of course, being a great unit to come in and capture units as well. And then in your sideboard, you got even more options between take captives and Dread Boss, really benefiting from using those capture mechanics on there. I really like this a lot. The Overwhelming Barrage is a nice addition to this as well, since a lot of these bounty hunters do have high attacks once you play them in there, and the Overwhelming Barrage just helps you clear the board, and then later on play another unit that can help you capture whatever survives Overwhelming Barrage. So you do have a deceptive amount of control with this yellow deck. It's pretty great. It's pretty nice. It's a very, very solid Cad Bane deck.
I bet you nobody saw those Dryden Vosses coming from the sideboard when they sided them in. Like, I bet you he sided those in like every game. Just to fuck with people.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Cad Bane deck previously. I believe it was a blue version of it that main decked a couple of Dryden Vosses and had more capture and stuff. So that was funny. But yeah, I actually like this deck a lot. The Sedans are like really good. If your opponent plays like a Green Squadron A-Wing, you just play Sedan. You play that Underworld unit, so they take a ping, and then you shove them in that A-Wing, and they die.
Yep.
Like, it's very good anti. Yeah. It's a very good, like, starter card. I'm actually kind of surprised they're not running 3, because it is a pilot unit, so it does trigger Mist Hunter.
Yep.
But maybe the space isn't that crazy.
I don't know. I would be running 3-2, especially with having no frozen and carbonates in this deck, which that drives me nuts too. But I don't know I honestly don't know where you would really put them unless you got rid of your ramp. And I don't think you want to get rid of the ramp, though. I'll be honest with you. You only got 3 ramp in 60 cards. You're not going to see that very often. I would probably run a third one as well, though, because you don't have a lot of, outside of the capture, you don't have a lot of like hard control stuff for it.
Is it worth swapping out Maul for Vader in here?
No.
Maul's Underworld as well.
Yep.
So Maul can put all the
there. Yeah.
So like you can trigger CAD, and also he pushes all the damage out of the smaller units.
Yeah.
Like your crafties and all that kind of stuff. So
what are you gonna pull with Vader anyway? Right? Like, it's got to be a villain unit. So you've got 2.
You got a variety of stuff.
You don't have that much. You don't have a lot.
You got the ships, you got Boba and Bazines and stuff, but yeah, the Mauls are really nice.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the runner-up. Was a Cad Bane Tarkentown, which is hilarious. I'm very glad I didn't have to play against this deck.
This is Great Hands deck that we went over.
Yep, it's the same one. This must be his buddy of his. This is not him though. He was not second place.
Right.
So.
I think he usually, whenever he makes like the top 8s for these PQs, he just concedes because he's like, well, I already have everything and all the buys and stuff, so he doesn't need just wants the top 8, and then let whoever had him as an opponent go on. But yes, exactly Raytan's deck.
You know, the funny thing is, right? Like, you could remember we talked a little bit last week about, okay, well, what about getting rid of Tarkentown? you can do that with that Sedan, like, to some extent. That's like a similar-ish type thing that you're doing. So it's 3 damage.
So Justin played Raytan second round, and he's like, he sided in the unrefusable offers and then stole my home 1 and then swung in and restored 2 and just like nuked everything. It was terrible. So his unrefusable offers coming into play, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, which is funny because we hadn't seen a lot of that before.
And everyone complained that they were like the worst store pricing cards ever.
I know. I only have I think I won 2 store champs that's
yeah. God, I have like full play sets of all of them. Yeah, it's awful.
All right, we'll move on to the Riverton PQ. This was won by a Quinlan Tarkentown. Honestly, we're not going to go through this deck. The only like real key thing that they have in here is the Anakins. That's kind of a little bit different. We hadn't seen them run main deck Anakins before. And the only reason we're not going to go over this is because we got all these other lists I want to go through. But I wanted to throw this up here because we had talked a little bit before about how Quinlan, Target Town seem to be kind of going away, but you can see here this one won a PQ. I don't think it's going away. I think it's just being countered a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I still think this is an extremely viable option for a PQ, personally. The runner-up was a Pelp Yellow. Little surprised it didn't beat the Tarkentown deck out, but I guess they have quite a bit of hand hate, so I could kind of see it being a thing. This is a different version. This is, I don't know, kind of like, I don't know. This is the non-separatist version is what this is, right?
Yeah, it's not like you're running puzzles and stuff like that.
A little bit with a little bit more underworld focus. The only real noticeable things I think in here is the Eager Escorts main deck, which is obviously for the Vaders. And I don't think other than that, like this is a pretty typical. I guess Confiscates. I don't remember Vaders running 2 Confiscates or Pelps running 2 Confiscates main deck. So we'll kind of move on from that. Let's go over to the cool list. These are kind of some of the lists that I wanted to go over because I thought they looked cool. This is that Luke Tarkentown list. Who wants to cover this list? I love this list so much.
Yeah, so we got Luke Tarkentown here. We got him coming in with 3 copies of the Crackshot V-Wing, 3 Daring Raids, 3 Hotshot Maneuvers, 2 Anakin's Interceptors, 3 copies each of the Green Squadron A-Wings and the Gray Squadron Y-Wings. We got 3 copies of the Red Squadron Y-Wings, 3 Stay on Targets, 2 Armed to the Teeth, which is a nice add-on for this particular deck. We got 3 Cassian Andors, 3 Fleet Lieutenants, 3 copies of Red 5, 3 copies of Red 3, 2 Sabine Masterpieces, 3 copies of Wing Leader and Kiergren Turns, 3 Ascent Aggressions, and then 3 Relentless Fire Sprays to round off the list. And then in the sideboard here, we got 3 copies of the shoot down, yeah. 2 Wolves, 3 Disabling Fang Fighters, and then 2 Chaos of Wars, which is our segment that we're doing right now. So this is really great. This is a fighter heavy, a very fighter heavy deck, which makes sense because Luke really plays off of those fighter units on there. And it's a really aggressive. You're able to ping a lot of your enemy ships out there, and if you have a really good space presence, you can easily dominate the board on there. This wants to hit fast. This wants to finish the game early to ensure that it maintains its superiority that's on the space side. And these units can actually be pretty tanky. They don't necessarily fall very fast, so you can really do stuff like the EMP pulse that does 1 damage to each of the units in space. This can take some beatings and they can deal out some damages pretty fast and pretty easy, and then get reinforced either from wing leaders or do a really quick strike with the fleet lieutenants available on the ground side, which keeps on pushing in damage on there. This is a really interesting list. I would definitely like to play this on the board.
It's hilarious. They've got 6 Y-Wings in here.
I know.
This feels like X-Wing all over again.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so this is like very similar to a mono red Poe deck that I was running for a while. It's very fast, very fun. That one, leveraged like Black One with the pings with Poe to like you actually activate Tarkentown very consistently and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this one just has Luke doing it, so it makes sense. What would be the like? No, wait, never mind. I was going to say something, but that doesn't work that way. The stay on targets are very fun because you can like stay on target a Y-Wing, and then if they take any of the indirect into their base, you draw a card because that is your unit doing damage to their base. So you can draw a couple of them, which is pretty neat. Same thing with like Sabine's Masterpiece when you like do damage to their base with the on attacks. You have red units. But I like it. I think it's cool. I might give this a whirl after I deconstructed that Poe deck. So it's been a bit.
Yeah, I like the list. I think this list is fun too. I played your poll list quite a bit online. So I should put it together in person. I have hyperspace foil aggressions, so I mean, like,
Fancy.
I could just do it. Well, I won them at the tournament. I got 10th place in with Qi'ra. So back in when Qi'ra was still good. You're never gonna live that down. All right, let's move on to the Obi-Wan Pau City. What is this deck?
Yeah, so this is Obi-Wan Pau City. Mono blue hero. I've done that a couple times. It's very fun. So this has triple covert strength, triple of the Kashyyyk Defender. That's the 0/5 grid unit. Then when played, you can heal damage. Heal a couple damage, put it on it. Triple Queel, triple Regional Governor main decked. Triple Restored Arc, double Midnight Repairs. That's the one that just heals 8 damage.
Yep.
Triple Electro Staff, which soon goes on those Space Whales. Triple Entrenched. Triple Concord Dawn Interceptors. Triple Yoda, double Equalize. Triple Perilous Position, double Hondo. Triple Foul, triple Vigilance. 1 Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. Thematic. Double Bendu, double Luke. Not triple, double Luke. Double Redemption, and 1 main deck Zillow Beast, because this person's my best friend ever. In the side, you have 1 Restock, 2 Village Protectors, 1 Satine, double Takedown, a second Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, the 3rd Luke, the 2nd Zillow, and 1 copy of Nebula Ignition, which I love in my raid deck. This one does not generate a lot of tokens or a lot of upgrades. It tends to just heal a lot. So it's a little bit less useful, but you can get there. It's a board wipe. It's fun. But yeah, this is just play a bunch of cool units, heal them all so they don't die, and outlast your opponent.
I do not recommend only running a 2 Luke's main deck, though. Sorry, I don't
agree.
understand it.
Just run with 51. I also don't agree with a single Obi-Wan's Aether's right.
I don't either. I would run 3 of those. So
yes, you could probably cut one of the covert strengths or something, or one of the regionals for a second Aether Sprite or a 3rd Luke.
Yeah.
Although not having 3 is also a little bit wonky to me. But I guess you also have Obi-Wan as to deploy on the same turn, so they kind of minor conflict.
Yeah. I do like it. It does give Obi that extra health and makes him a little bit harder to deal with. Unless you're playing Qi'ra and you just, kill him. So, with a fell dragon. Anyway, let's move on.
You can't fell a leader.
I'm sorry, not fell the dragon. What's the 6? Whatever the 6 cost unit stupid thing is. You know what?
Rivals?
There you go. Rivals fall.
Okay.
That's what I run in my Qi'ra. All right. This deck is wild too. This is a Maul Data Vault deck. This made 5 and 2 at a PQ. I was to say, JJ, if you have these cards, there you go. This is the deck. This is the deck I could see JJ like taking. This is definitely different. I was gonna ask you why you don't have any Palpatines in your damn Vader deck. Like we talk about Palpatine all the time. But this is more of the traditional, I would say more of like that traditional Bosk Data Vault style without the bounties. This has 3 Death Star Troopers, 3 First Orders, 3 of the Salacious Crumb, 2 Dogfights, which I love that Dogfight card if you have units on the board. You can't use Maul's ability though with Dogfight, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But if he's out, you still have the Overwhelm.
True. This is crazy. 3 Alarans, 3 of the Kylo's Ties, 2 TIE Bombers, 3 off-color Entrenches, which I think is hilarious. 2 Cobb Vanth, 3 of the Super Laser Techs, 2 of the Von Reg's Ties, which I'm assuming is just for the Vader. It's for your Vader units. You have no other pilots, and it's not a bad. I guess it's not a bad. It's not a bad.
Also entrench it and tell them that they can't do much in space.
That's true. You can entrench it, and then it has the overwhelm. It gets the overwhelm with it. Yeah,
in
that's
the
true.
raid.
That's
Yep.
not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Probably what it's there for. That's probably what those are there for then. Man,
I mean, also like just entrenching one of your you can entrench like Mall Leader, right? And then he's just a 9/9, and anything they drop, they just get overwhelmed. But also because he's a 9/9 and all your units are getting overwhelmed, like it really enables a lot of things in the deck.
Ugh.
I like the entrenched a lot in this spot, honestly.
yeah. They also have 3 resupplies, 3 fallen lightsabers, 3 Tarkins, 3 OBs, 3 traitresses, 2 Vader pilots, 3 Ruthless Raiders, 3 Vader units, 3 Maul units, 2 Devastators, 3 Palpatine units, baby, and 2 of the Reinforcement Walkers. No Devastator, no real Devastators in this day.
No
This
main
not,
decked green Devastators.
and they only have 1 on the side, along with 2 Planetaries, a 3rd Red Devastator, 2 Palps Returns, a 3rd Von Rex tie, and 3 Confiscates. I do not like that they don't have green Devastators in this deck, but I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Like I guess it kind of makes sense because you should probably win before then with all the overwhelm damage.
Overwhelm, but
I don't know. I don't run anything I think without, like, if I'm running anything like this, I would always run Devastators, but that's just me. I like this deck, actually. I actually like this deck.
so do I.
I would probably play this, like, personally. I think this deck could actually be decent. I don't like the TIE Bombers, I guess, but other than that, you can entrench them.
Targets.
They are. Yeah.
I mean, also you just like turn 1 TIE Bomber, turn 2 Vader pilots. Pretty annoying.
True. The other thing you could do, like, you could put Palps guards in here too. You got 6 officials, so 8 officials, 9 officials actually. So 8 officials. You have 8 officials in here. You could do that.
Whoa. Palpatine units technically also.
Oh my god!
official.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
If I'm playing one of those at the same time, I don't know. You're right. If I'm playing one of those at the same time, I'm playing Palpatine.
But like how Vance is also an official that you want to die, so that's probably a little anti-synergistic there. And
I don't know. I kind of like this deck. I kind of want to actually build this deck and put this together. I've always loved Maul.
The Tarkins are a little bit weird to me because a lot of your like your later units are the Imperial units. So I guess it's more like how I was using Prepare for Takeoff, where it's like more mid-range, like mid game, late game stuff. Because all your FO Stormtroopers aren't Imperial, neither Salacious or the Silencers or Cobb Vance or Von Reg's tie and all that kind of stuff. So maybe they're just pulling the later game stuff, which actually makes a lot of sense.
It's kind of like a Prepare for Takeoff, right? Like without having the Prepare for Takeoff. So
yeah, but it's less of a reach because it's only 5 cards.
Fair enough. So, all right. Well, I think those are all the lists I have for today. We have a couple of other, fun things. We'll probably cover some more for fun lists. I don't know how much we're going to cover, like, top end stuff now that, like, we're kind of through regionals and sectionals. Like, I don't think there's any other major tournaments other than some PQs that are coming up. And I'll be honest, like, I mean, I think the cooler thing is some of the stuff that gets invented between then and now. That's more of the fun stuff. Like, I think because those are things that you can look forward to. Okay, this did well. Can I make this better going into set 5, right? And I think that's kind of where we're going to start pushing our podcast to for the next month, is looking at more stuff. As I did say, we are going to cover next week. So you guys got to bring some what leaders or what cards do you think are going to be, possibly good, something we should relook at going into the next meta. The obvious one is like whatever, like any force user, I guess, or force throw. And we'll also talk a little bit about whether they'll ban force throw. I don't think they will, but we'll talk a little bit about that, because like a lot of the stuff going on right now, like, is forcing people to play into like one color suite, right? And that, I think FFG there might be a possibility they don't want that card to be around nowadays, just because of the fact that, like, if you're going to play red just because of that stupid 3 cards, if you're playing force units, I don't know. We'll talk a little bit about that next week too. So with that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the Flippity Flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.